Hello, my wonderful students and chemistry lovers. Today we are going to assess our understanding on ion-to-ion interaction. And we are going to do this by learning how to rank lattice energies and melting points of different ionic or salt compounds. My name is Dr. Lotando Kwesili, and I'm going to serve as your guide today in this interesting lecture and conversation. Okay? So when your examiner tries to understand or have a feedback or evaluate your level of understanding of the different lattice energies and of course the melting points of different ionic compounds, they're going to give you some questions that look like what we have on the board. In learning, there will always be need for feedback, there will always be need for assessment and evaluation. That way, your assessor, your lecturer, your teacher would want to check for the level of your understanding on that topic. So the first evaluation question that we are giving here is rank the following three ionic compounds in order of increasing lattice energies and of course increasing melting points. And we are giving sodium fluoride, potassium fluoride, and rubidium fluoride. And assume that these ionic compounds have the same solid structure. Of course, they have the same K values, all right? Again, knowing that sodium, of course, has the atomic number of 11, potassium has the atomic number of 19, rubidium has the atomic number of 37. To tackle this question, it is always important that we go from the known to the unknown. And for us to get the knowns, the meat of this matter, we have to look again at the formula, all right, of each of the ionic compound. If you look here, you have sodium fluoride, potassium fluoride, and rubidium fluoride. The first takeaway we're going to have is that the first common ground we can see is that the three of these ionic compounds contain fluorine atom. Okay? Or, let me put it in another way, the three of them contains fluoride ion in the ionic crystal. This is clear. Again, the second takeaway we're going to take is that if you look at the elements sodium, potassium, and rubidium, you discover they are all alkali metals. They are all what? Alkali metals, even though they have different what? Different atomic numbers. Of course, that will, bring in the difference in terms of their ionic what? Distance, okay? Or the bond lengths will now be dependent on the fact that they have different atomic numbers. And of course, they belong to different periods, even though they are in the same group of a periodic table. So that understanding will help us to appreciate what is happening here. So again, the three ionic compounds contain fluoride ions or fluoride anion, as you can see. So if that is true, you will agree with me that they are all fluoride salts of alkali metals. Again, if you pay attention, you discover that they also have, cations that has 1 plus charge, okay, and ions that have what? 1 minus charge. Again, since this is an alkali metal, you have 1 plus charge, you also have 1 minus charge, okay? Here you have 1 plus charge, okay? And you also have 1 minus charge. So in terms of their ionic strength, you discover that the ionic strengths are equal because one of the ways we describe the melting points of ionic compounds is their lattice energy. And lattice energy from the last lecture, you understand with me, is one of the expressions of what we call the Coulomb's law, which helps us to measure the strength of electrostatic attractive forces between ions, okay, in an ionic compound, all right? If that is clear, you also understand from the last lecture that lattice energy is dependent on increasing charges, okay, as increasing ionic strength or ionic charges or the product of the charges of the two interacting ions continue to increase, the lattice energy increases vis-a-vis the melting point. While the ionic radii or the ionic internuclear distance between the two interacting ions, as that one increases, of course, the lattice energy decreases. So again, the lattice energy of a given ionic compound is directly proportional to what? Increasing ionic strength, and inversely proportional to what? to increasing internuclear distance between the what interacting ions. Okay, that is what we understood from the last lecture. If that is said, and again you pay attention to the product of the two charges, you have +1 multiplied by 1, 1 plus multiplied by what? 1 minus. 1 plus multiply 1 minus. You see that in the 3 ionic compounds, we are going to have 1 minus charges. So there is no discrepancy, there is no difference in terms of their ionic strength, as you can see. So that means that the lattice energy, the difference in the lattice energy invariably is not dependent on the ionic strength. So we move to the next issue. And the next issue again, which is clear, is that 3 of them have fluoride ions. So again, the difference is not in the size of the anions, which is similar or common. Therefore, we can decipher from this understanding that the difference in the lattice energies and the melting point of these 3 elements is dependent on the ionic size, the difference in ionic sizes between sodium, potassium, and rubidium. And that difference, you can see, will happen because they have 3 different atomic numbers. They belong to different periods in the periodic table, even though they belong to the same group or the same family. And it's important for us to know again that the variation we're going to have in terms of the distance between the 2 interacting ions, of course, depends on the size of the cation. From here, the difference in the lattice energy is going to depend on the differences in the size of sodium ion, potassium ion, and rubidium ion. And it's important for us to recall that the size, atomic size, or what we call ionic size, okay, is a periodic property. And of course, it increases as you move down the group or family in the periodic table. So as you move down the group in the periodic table, the atomic number increases and the number of shells also increases. All right. And as that happens, you discover that there is a change in terms of the internuclear distance between the ionic bond, okay, or between the ions that are interacting, even though they belong to the same periodic table. So if we arrange the 3 cations, which are the deciding factor in this particular evaluation, in order of increasing size, we're going to discover that again, you have your sodium neutral atom, you have your potassium neutral atom, you have your rubidium neutral atom. So you have 11, 19, 37. And clearly, you will discover that sodium ionized by giving out 1 electron, of course, you discover is an alkali metal, and so the potassium ionized by giving out 1 electron. All right, in the atom shell. So if we are talking about sodium here, it had 3 shells, but ionizing it has K shell, all right, and L shell, as against K, L, and M, all right. But ionizing to sodium ion makes it K and L shell, all right. Potassium, again an alkali metal, lost 1 of its electron, okay. Instead of having KL and M and L shell, it now had only KL and M shell in the ionic form. Okay, this is key. Rubidium 37, all right, had 6 shells, but after losing 1 electron in the outermost shell, you now have the K shell, the L shell, the M shell, the N shell, and the O shell. The P shell, in the P shell, the 1 electron that was there was lost for it to become rubidium ion. So this is key. So understanding that they are all 3 alkali metals, but the difference is in the number of shells that they have. The number of shells in a particular family or group of a periodic table continues to increase, of course, as you go down. The group is a periodic property. So if that is the case, all right, and you have sodium fluoride. Remember that fluoride ion, is similar, they are common here, all right? So if sodium makes an ionic bond, if sodium ion makes an ionic bond with fluoride ion, you're going to discover that the bond length, okay, will be shorter, all right, compared, because you are dealing with, okay, 2 shells here, all right? we are dealing with what? 2 shells here, okay? The lesser the number of shells, of course, the shorter the what? The atomic radii or ionic radius, as the case may be, the atomic radius or ionic radius, okay? The shorter the distance, the stronger the ionic bond, okay? So if you make an ionic bond between sodium ion and chloride ion, it's going to be very strong because of the short, all right, distance between the nucleus of this ion and the nucleus of the chloride ion. When you compare it with this, you are going to have 3 shells. So of course, the atomic or the ionic radius increases the internuclear distance. So if you are, a potassium ion is linking up with a chloride ion, it's going to have lesser attractive force than what we have here, because there is much more distance. Here you have 2 shells, here you have 3 shells. So as the number of shells continue to increase, the radius increases, the lesser the attractive force is going to make with this common fluoride ion that is common in the 3 of them. This is clear. So now we have 3 shells here, but here we have 5 shells. That means that the distance, the radius, okay, of this ion is even much longer. So if this particular rubidium ion is making an ionic bond with a fluoride ion, which is the same, has the same atomic ionic radius, in all of this, you're going to have that the longer the ionic bond, okay, the longer the internuclear distance between the ions, the lesser the strength of the ion-to-ion interaction, and the lower the lattice energy, and of course the lower the melting point. So if this is clear, you discover that this has the least ionic radius, okay? So the bond is going to make with a fluoride ion is going to be stronger than the ionic bond that potassium ion is going to make with what? Fluoride ion is going to be what? It's going to be what? Less stronger. And the least strength or ion-to-ion interaction will be between rubidium and fluoride ion, okay? This is clear, and that is key that we understand it. So hence, in increasing bond length, we're going to have that rubidium fluoride, of course, we have lesser ion-to-ion interaction with what? Potassium fluoride, which will in turn also have lesser ion-to-ion interaction between itself and sodium fluoride. So that means that sodium fluoride has the highest ionic bond, okay, or highest ion-to-ion interaction, more than potassium fluoride, which in turn has higher strength or higher lattice energy, or higher, of course, higher melting point than rubidium fluoride. So as the bond length increases, okay, because of the higher radius between, okay, each of the ions, because of the higher internuclear distance, the attractive forces, of course, decreases. So you can agree with me here again that rubidium fluoride must have the least attractive forces than what? Potassium fluoride, and finally sodium fluoride. And to understand this a lot more, you see this reflected in their different melting points, okay? Again, sodium fluoride has a melting point of 988 degrees Celsius, which is higher than that of what? Potassium fluoride, which is giving 846 degrees Celsius. And the least melting point is found in rubidium fluoride with 775 degrees Celsius. So in terms of increasing lattice energy or ionic bond or melting point, as the case may be, rubidium, okay, has lesser lattice energy, lesser melting point, as you can see, than potassium fluoride, which also has a lesser melting point than what? Sodium fluoride. And this is because of what we understood by, understanding what we call the Coulomb's law, of course, applied in terms of the lattice energy. I believe that is clear. The second question that we are given is arrange the following ionic compounds in the order of increasing melting point or increasing lattice energy. The same thing we did here is what we're going to do here, even though there is a little difference in what we have here. Let's bring out, remember the two factors that determines the strength of strength of ionic bond, or how large the lattice energy and melting point is. First one is increasing ionic strength. Secondly is what? Decreasing internuclear distance, or ion-to-ion interaction. This is key. So if we try to bring out the ions here, we're going to have 2, okay? We're going to have 2 plus ion in the cation. Here you have 2 minus, okay? Here you have 1 plus, here you have 1 minus for fluoride. Here rubidium, of course, is an alkali metal, so we are dealing with 1 plus ion, okay? And here bromine is an halogen, so we are dealing with 1 minus ion. And beautiful, again, this is 2 plus cation, and of course this is a halogen, so we are dealing with 1 what? 1 minus ion, okay? This is key. When we do this, what we have just done is that we have been able to try to understand the differences they have in terms of the ionic charges, okay? Beautiful. If you look at it, the ionic compound here with the highest product of charges is, if you check it, you're going to have 2 plus into 2 minus, you're going to have 4 minus. So this one has the highest product of charges, or highest ionic strength, okay? Then here, for this, you have 1 plus into 1 minus, which is 1 minus. The same is what you have, okay? So in potassium fluoride, we have a total of what? 1 minus, and you have for rubidium again 1 plus into 1 minus is the same 1 minus. So these two and 1 minus, this one has the highest, as you can see. All right, so if you check for this, the product of their charges is 2 times 1, or 2 plus into 1 minus, which is equal to what? 2 minus, as you can see. So the highest ionic strength is reflected in what? Calcium, what? You look at it, you have calcium oxide with the highest ionic strength. So if you are ranking this, you discover that you have first calcium oxide, okay, is stronger, right? Okay, stronger than calcium, all right, fluoride, as you can see. Okay, now the problem is in these two guys. Since they have the same ionic strength, how do you differentiate their lattice energies? It's very, very key that we understand that. Therefore, it is not about increasing ionic size now, or ionic strength now, okay? Rather, yes, it's not about increasing ionic strength now. Rather, it is about the difference in their ionic sizes. That's what we're going to use and check now. And if you check, remember we talked about size as a periodic property that increases as you move down the group. And if you look at it, you discover that here you have potassium. Potassium is 19, and rubidium is what? Rubidium is 37. So invariably, this cation is smaller than this cation. Right? So K plus is smaller than what? Rubidium ion. Because as you go down the group, you are going to find this organ after you have traveled from 19 to 37. So as you go down the group, you're going to have rubidium. Therefore, remember that size is a periodic property that increases as you go down the group. So if you discover that, the rubidium ion will have a larger size than what? The potassium ion. Again, you hold your hand on that. You discover that if you also go down the group, fluorine is what? Again, a halogen. Bromine or bromide ion is from the halogen bromine. And you discover that as you go down from what? Fluorine down to bromine, the ionic size or atomic size also increases. Therefore, you discover that the bromide ion is larger in size than what? Fluoride ion. Just as rubidium ion is larger in size than what? Potassium ion. So these two ions are larger in size than these two ions, okay? So you discover again that the ionic strength here is greater than this, while the ionic strength here, okay, or the lattice energy is greater than this. okay, from what I just explained. Okay, so but this is not what they say we should do. The question says rank or arrange the following, okay, in the order of increasing melting point. Remember, melting point is a reflection of the size of the lattice energy, okay? And lattice energy is dependent on two things: increasing what? Ionic strength, and decreasing what? Internuclear distance. So if you do that and you want to arrange this in increasing order of melting points, or increasing lattice energy, or increasing strength of ion to ion interaction, you flip it the other way. You now discover that rubidium, okay, discover that rubidium bromide, okay, is less in lattice energy or melting point than what? Potassium fluoride, which is in turn less in lattice energy or melting point, okay, less in energy than this, and this is also less in energy than what? Calcium oxide. So this is the answer to our question. I don't know if you learned anything. If you learned anything from what the evaluation we just did, kindly click on the like button, click on the love button, and share it so that this video can get to those students that are struggling with some of these fundamental aspects of chemistry. Okay, in the next lecture video, I'm going to dive into teaching you how to calculate the lattice energies of different ionic compounds using what we call the Born-Haber cycle. Until the next time, stay safe, stay away from trouble, keep learning and bettering your chemistry with us here on Chem Class with Dr. Luther. I remain your humble friend, Dr. Luther Nnokwesi. Until the next time, bye.